Episode first, the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. I want to thank a few of them now. Gallo Technologies, Rhino Metals, Blackwater Ammunition, of course, Galco Leather Holsters, Volquartsen Firearms, Pulsar Thermal Imaging Technology, of course, Right On Optics, Volquartsen. Shout out to Scott Volquartsen and Brady Spieth at Right On. Two good podcasts. Go check them out, guys. I really love those guys. Super exciting day. We had some guys in here giving us IVs. That doctor, whatever his name is, Kyle Gillette, was in here giving us IVs from Merrick. Is it Merrick? Something like that. Whatever. But they were awesome. I'll have more to come on that once I get more details. I just don't know enough about it yet. I'm getting my knowledge up. I appreciate everybody who tunes into the show. Please leave reviews. I got an exciting guest today. Anybody who's been on my show or been a guest in my show knows I give gifts. I give gifts to guests. I hooked up with this guy, and he had a really interesting story. We connected, and we managed to start working together. He is the face behind Knuckle Sammys. If you've seen any of those brass knuckles that people have been posting that Dana White gives out, I give out, he's the one and only Matt Price.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, man. How are you doing?
I'm terrific. You excited to be here finally?
Dude, I'm so excited to be here, man. It doesn't feel real yet.
It doesn't feel real.
No.
Now, is it crazy for you coming in here and seeing firsthand the operation after us talking on the phone? Are you like blown out of your shoes by this or what?
100%, man. This is the coolest shit ever. This is
talking to the mic so people can hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, this is new for me. So.
Yeah, no. Talking to the mic. Don't not talking to the mic. People want to hear you.
Right.
But is it crazy to you that like it's this hectic? Because you walked in the middle of a
what was there 12, 14, 15 people in there when I
in and out, right?
So when I pulled in, to be honest with you, I was nervous the whole time driving here. So I get here, I knock on the other 8.
Oh wow.
So I walk across and I'm like, "Oh, this is it." And, you know, I didn't expect everyone to be in there. So, yeah, no, it was really cool, man. And everybody was so nice and, yeah, welcoming. It was cool.
So, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me.
It means a lot to have you. Now, so everybody knows listening, I'm going to dive right in. We're going to get to the story because I got a couple good stories about this guy. But, so, let me start here. Let me give you a chance to tell your story. Let me back up because it's not fair. How did you get into the brass knuckle thing?
Do you want the honest story?
Yeah, honestly.
So I'm sitting there taking a shit, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's a good. Say it in the mic,
I'm sitting there taking a shit, and I'm just scrolling through my phone, and a little thing comes across in Texas, and it says they're going to be legal in September of 2019, September of 19. And so I was like, man, I can build knuckles. And I went in, and I built some, and it just still kind of just progressed into more and more, and then now we have what we have, and I think they're really cool, man.
But you had the machinery to do it.
Yes, yeah. I've got a small construction company back home, welding. We do structural steel, decorative wrought iron, MP custom fabrications. Been doing it for 16 years. There can be, yeah.
So you're rich?
No, sir. That's negative.
So you're saying no? There's a lot of money in that. But now listen, you come up with the brass knuckles. Mm-hmm. At what point did you start to make a brand? Because I've never asked you this. When did you turn it into Sammys? That part I never really asked you.
You know, it was funny. It was my girlfriend and I. We were driving to Arkansas, and we were trying to come up with all these ideas and designs and stuff, and nothing real. I mean, we came up with a bunch of ideas. And then one day I went to lunch with a friend of mine, and I showed her a bunch of the knuckles that I had built. Her name's Rhonda, and we were sitting there having burgers and stuff. And I said, "Man, I can't come up with a name." And she says, "How about Knuckle Sandwich?" And she put her hand out like this and kind of put knuckle. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And so then I started thinking about this patriotic theme type of deal, because I don't know if you notice, he's got the American flag on him, and so then it just kind of ventured into Knuckle Sammys, and it.
Kind of wild.
It's been a process. It's been a long, fun, cool ride, though.
Were you surprised how much work it is and how much failure was built into it? Because we're going to get there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it continues to surprise me daily.
Yeah. Now, somehow you ended up on my lap, like most do in the defense industry. Many do. You end up in my lap. I forget how we hooked up.
Dude, you found me on Instagram, and you called me one night. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I'll never forget. And you messaged me on Instagram, and then I sent you my phone number. You said something, and then you called.
I called, yeah, I remember that.
And we just sat there and talked for, a while. 30, 45 minutes or so. It was a really cool conversation. And you said something about that you wanted to get them to Rob Bailey, Dana Bailey.
Dana, I remember Dana and Rob back then were on.
Yeah, and you gave me their address. We gave them to them.
I remember now. Yeah, I was searching for a gift for some of them. I think that's what it was. I was like, hey, I want to get these guys something cool for coming out and doing the show. And we've done like the bats in the past with some guests. We've done some crazy shit, but we ended up doing the knuckles.
Yes.
I remember that. So we did some knuckles. Okay, and everything was great.
Yeah.
Right? Everything was great.
And you and Tony called me.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to the Tony. We're going to get there.
All right.
So I'm building this up. It might not be a good story. I don't know. But I'm building it up. So he ends up hooking up with a couple people in my circle. We start working together. We start figuring some things out. And I'm like, they're catching on. Like while this is going on, and I'm telling my version, Matt can tell his after. But my version was they start to catch on. Then I start, he says to me, I'm like, look, get me as many of these as you can. I can get them to guests. I'm like, every step of the way, I'm like, I'll pay. I'm like, let me know what it costs, the materials. I'm like, it's no big deal. We'll figure it out in the wash. But people liked them. And that was the key, was people liked them. Then I noticed everybody and their mother out in the universe is starting to post Knuckle Sammys. He's like, giving away the farm. And I'm like, Matt, and he's like, well, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. And I'm like, I said, Matt, that's fine. Give them to everybody. But I'm like, do you understand you're on to something? I know you're on to something because of who I'm talking to about it and who's interested in it and who's starting to say like, this would be cool. This would be cool. And I thought the niche for you was, I was like, in my circle, it's slower because they're owners, they own businesses and everything else, but they like it. And I'm like, this is the way to go. I'm like, these guys will take runs of 50 of these or 100 of these. They're like dealers. And he's like, I don't know, fuck you or something. I don't know. It was something like that. I don't know. Like how it goes with most people. Then one day I had Dana in, and Dana was like, hey, I want to order those, and I want to order those. So I go, okay. So I think I was kind of like on the outs not on the outs. No, we were never on the outs, but it was like, I'm making it sound better, but we were on the outs. And then I'm like, listen, this guy's going to call you, he's going to hit you up. I think he wants to put an order in. And for like 20, and I'll let you pick up the story. For like 20 minutes, you didn't believe me that was going to happen. and then what happened?
Holy shit. Okay. So
in the mic.
Yeah, it happened. I was sitting there and it was
like a FaceTime.
Well, no, it wasn't. He just called. But
I made that up.
You did. But that's
I made that up. I own it.
So we were, damn it.
You're fine.
I was in a meeting and I come out of the meeting and I look at my phone and there's a text and it's from you and another person that says, hey, Matt, meet Dana White, meet Matt. And I'm just looking at it going, this isn't fucking real. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm like, no way. So I call my son and I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
What's Dana's number?
Yeah, no. And I was like, Sean, help me send a text back to Dana. And he's like, well, I don't know what to say. And so we just kind of came up with a thing. And I three-wayed you back and I texted to him. And then like 30 seconds later, Dana called me.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this really is Dana, isn't it? He just starts laughing. And he was so cool, man. I mean, we just sat there and we talked for about 10 minutes or so. And he was just really cool about everything. And, and he's told me how much he loves the knuckles. And I was just kind of sitting there going, holy shit, this is Dana White on the phone, man.
Now, the funniest part is after, and this is really funny looking back, is after you call me and you're like, how the fuck am I going to fill this order? I was like,
get busy.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, man. That's for you to figure out. Don't cry to me when you have too much business.
That's right.
I'm not the guy to cry to for that. But you started to understand the value of the relationships. And I know it doesn't make sense sometimes till it happens, but when it starts to happen, you start to say, wow, placing a premium on premium is always the best thing to do, especially if you can crack into those circles.
Right.
And I think sometimes, and you saw this, the saturation of the many isn't always the best thing, isn't always the best approach. And I think you kind of figured that out along the way, that sometimes taking a sniper approach of like, let me target a couple key areas and people that will be customers, because I think it's a great corporate gift.
Yeah.
And I think you stumbled upon something really smart. Now expanding it and getting the line kind of built out and seeing what you can do with it is really the trick, But it's an interesting brand. If you haven't checked it out, guys, it's Knuckle Sammys. You need to go look at it. It's really cool. If you want to give somebody a guy, like we talk a lot about guy gifts, right? Like every woman says, I don't know what to buy a guy. I always say guys are so simple. Get him a Zippo lighter, get him some Knuckle Sammys, get something simple, right? I was having this conversation the other day with someone. I was like, Guys aren't hard to buy for. I don't think. Do you?
Not really.
I don't think. I mean, you buy a guy a good Pelican case, a Zippo lighter, a pair of brass knuckles,
happy.
a fucking sword.
Right.
They're happy.
Absolutely.
I think so. You know, so in the scale of Christmas gifts, if you're dating a dude, call this guy.
That's right.
That's what I say.
Knuckle Sammys.
Now, where do you want to go with the brand? What's your ideas now? I haven't even talked to you about this.
Yeah,
It's all fresh.
no, man, it's fresh to me too, and I want to go as much as we can. You know, I mean, but I have,
And it is a side business for you, which is crazy.
It is a side business, but it's also become a full-time deal as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it is, we're starting to get a little busier, and it's awesome. It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day when I first started this. I think a lot of people have these visions in their head, and they kind of project of what you think that this is going to look like. And is what was so funny about Dana calling, and I don't know if this could ever happen, but it's like I've always had this vision since we started of Knuckle Sammys being like involved in some kind of like in a ring almost, and it's just
God sent you to me.
I think he did.
I think
he did. God was watching out. My
God
brother.
was wild. All that Sunday school paid off for me. I channeled the inner Jesus, right? Dana White. So that was pretty wild then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was very wild.
Now you mentioned your boy, your family went banana, like they lost their mind, right? Like they were like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah. Especially when now I'm here in Vegas. They're like, "Are you shitting me? What's going on?" I'm like,
"What's happening,
man?
I'm swimming with sharks." That's right. Yeah, I'm swimming with sharks.
Friendly
it's
sharks.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun getting on the ride, and you never know where great relationships are going to come from.
That's right.
That's what's always surprising.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how they're going to develop,
right?
How they take shape, and what you're able to do for each other.
Absolutely.
And I find that always unique.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been a relationship based guy? Because clearly I had to talk you into this, but you were willing and you understood kind of the importance of developing people. And I think that's a trait, that's something that you're not born with. I think you develop it over time and you understand how to forge a relationship, because you didn't have to forge one with me. You just kind of looked at the tea leaves and you said, okay. It's not easy for owners to do that. It's not easy for people to do that, to take a chance. And I think owners should take a very smart one. And when they're working with people, whoever it is, ask more of your influencers, ask more of your ambassadors, make them true partners with the brand any way that you can, especially if you're trying to take the brand from a certain level, which is startup, to potentially being known. Mm-hmm. I think it takes time, and I think you have to let it water itself. I think deviating and trying to do too much, you run into a problem.
Right. No, I agree. And it and that has been the hardest thing at the very beginning, was to just
stay the
slow
course.
Down, and not
refine your process, get better at things,
right?
Like you're saying.
Because when we launched the website and everything, it's kind of funny. It was February 7th of 2020, and that's actually my sobriety date too. Hey, good job. And so
keep it clean.
That's right. So when I launched it, and I'm not shitting you, dude, I had all these thoughts of like, oh my god, this thing's gonna blow up. We're gonna be so busy. Fucking crickets. I mean, I was like, what the hell, but we just kept forging along, and then COVID hit. And so it just, but you just keep pushing forward.
Well, chances are too, in the beginning, you suck. You just lie to yourself and you think you're good. You're like, oh, I'm amazing at this. But you don't realize till you look back, you got to refine the you're like, thank God no one bought one early. Like you have to refine it, and it does take time. You don't have a perfect baby at that point. It just takes a little time. And kind of, I noticed like maybe 6 months in, you started hitting your groove and understanding everything. Now it's great to throw a giant net out there and work with everybody and have that approach. But what I would talk to you about was the size of your business, what you were trying to do with it. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I was like, you need a corporate structure. You need like a couple of people that are really good feeders for you until you can get to the point where you're selling to Blade headquarters or like one of the big boy shops, which I imagine you're starting to knock on the door of now. I imagine. I don't want to get into the soup of anything that's top secret, but I imagine you're talking to a lot of these different entities now, and it's ramping up production to get there.
Yeah.
You feel like production's getting where you want it to be?
Not yet. No, but it will. That's
how many units do you want to be putting out a month? If you roughly over under 1,000,
200,
100,
because we hand make each one.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and so
But you want to get to 100, or you want to get to 1,000?
No, I'd love to get to 1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
100%. But it's it's very doable, but it takes more time. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
How long does it take to make a set from start to finish?
I mean, it's weird because, you know, we'll build 25 to 50 at a time. And so you do a process of getting them cut and then doing all the machine
Baking
work
'em.
and putting them together, and then you got to grind them and just finish everything. And then the cool thing
they're
is,
anodized, right?
well, we powder coat.
Powder coat.
Yep, and we've actually just started powder coating ourselves in the last.
I told you to do that.
I know, and now we're.
I was the guy.
See, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm not very smart, John, but I do get there.
I think you're smarter than you let on. I think you play that little, I don't know, help me. I think it works with the ladies. It doesn't work with me. Take me home and clean me. I'm filthy.
Right.
I love
dirty.
Yeah. I think, you know, look, first of all, to everybody listening, there's a process to any metal fabrication.
Correct.
To anything. And it's not easy, right?
No.
And now the cost of goods has gone through the roof, right?
It's doubled.
It's doubled.
Easy. Yeah.
Are you going to raise, you got to raise prices. You got to. You have to.
I have to, but I mean, not right now.
At least a small, eventually, at least a small percentage.
Yeah.
Everybody has to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way of the world right now. How expensive has materials got?
It prices have doubled on price.
Everything, across the board.
Yeah. Some of it's only like 30-40%, but steel has definitely gone up 100%.
Do you think it'll come down?
Yeah, I think it will. I think next year, maybe middle of next year.
Till we get rid of the Joey basement in the White House, right?
That's a big 10-4.
I know. What's going on in Texas? You motherfuckers with Beto O'Rourke dancing with the devil.
Fuck that shit, man. Don't dig that. No, we're good, man. It's you know, it's weird coming here because like in Texas, we don't have to wear masks
All right.
anywhere.
Well, you only have to wear them in casinos here now.
Is that
least.
it?
I think it's just casinos. It's
Okay.
casinos and probably into the venues, you know.
Okay.
People kind of wear them. I like wearing them because then no one sees me and I can hide.
Right.
You know.
Well, you got a beautiful face and you got to
try.
hide from everybody.
I'm using the right products now. I'm trying to take care of myself.
You're getting the IVs.
Yeah, I'm getting IVs and everything, you know. I get my vitamin dose so I can make it
Right.
through the day. Otherwise, I'll collapse, you know, doing too many shows.
Right.
Now, along the way, you started watching the show and you started paying attention to what I was doing. You actually dove in and you like it. When we talk, we genuinely talk about episodes and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you like some of the people
I
on.
love it. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Like Tony?
Oh yeah, I didn't get to the Tony story. I missed that because I got too excited.
Yeah.
The Tony story is funny. So
It is.
so Tony, he gets a call. I don't know how that. Tony calls me, and he's like, "I need a crazy weapon for when I'm going to be on Call of Duty."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So he ends up in the Call of Duty video game, and he calls me, and he's like, "I need a crazy weapon." So I was like, "I got just the idea."
Yep.
And that was how that happened. So you got to work. Tony wanted something crazy though. He wanted like custom made studded one, like
Spikes.
yeah, specifically for that. That was wild.
It was cool. It was way wild. He sent me the spikes, and we actually built the knuckle for him, and he did this really cool video for kind of a promo for the Call of Duty video game lurch and stuff. And in fact, now we're building.
Did you ever share that video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know.
And we're actually doing a bunch of knuckles for him now for his Warrior Alliance, the NFTs.
Yeah.
And so
He's like the Wolf of Miami now.
I love him, man.
Yeah, he's
such a
like the
cool
Wolf
dude,
of
man.
Miami. If you need NFT or crypto advice, he's your guy.
Really?
I mean, he's literally. Listen, I don't know how good the tips are, but he is the Wolf of Miami. I don't know how good Tony. I love you. I don't know how good the tips are, but it's funny, and relationships just work that way, and that's how a business grows. Now with you, because you had something so unique that nobody had, it drew people in, and I think the draw of that was the sexy kind of, was the heroine, so to speak.
There
You know,
you
it was
go.
like this. It was like you know, trust me, this is perfect, and it just worked out. It doesn't always work that way.
No.
It doesn't always work that way, and you just happen to hit it. Now, you're gonna have to expand the business. You need full-time employees now.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely got to. Which I'm looking forward to.
Listen,
I mean,
I'll expect my cut.
let's go.
You know, I'm going to be part owner.
Let's go.
Now, listen, I think the brand can grow incredibly. I think you could do a lot with it. What it's going to be is going to be what you make of it.
Right.
And like I tell anybody, it can be a side hustle if you want it to be a side hustle. It can be a full-time business if you want it to be a business. If you've made all the money you could ask for in any other business, it's just a really cool thing for you to, you know, engage with people and build relationships.
Right.
And that works too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody has a different flavor.
Right.
Any way you get in the door, it doesn't matter once you're in the door.
Right. Well,
know?
and it's, I mean, everybody has a story too of how you got there. You know, I mean, it's, it's been quite the ride too, you know, I mean, but,
It's wild.
it is.
Do you want to talk about it? How wild of a ride?
Where do you want me to start?
Start at the beginning. Tell me everything.
Oh my God. Do you want to know about my addiction?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Don't give me like the My Pillow guy story, but like give me your story.
Man, it's kind of fucked.
Go ahead.
So I've been sober for 3 years and 10 months. Is that the shit you want to hear?
Do. Yeah. No, keep going. Keep telling me the whole story.
Right,
people want to know. The people are listening.
You know, I'd gone through a really
This
dark
is part
time.
of therapy. We're in therapy. Right?
And I love therapy because you got to talk about it, get it open. So 3 years, 10 months ago, I went to a drug and alcohol treatment center. Before that, I had basically just burned my life down. This is kind of hard to talk about.
So, no, get emotional.
Alcohol, weed, biking, and I was in a motorcycle wreck in 2015.
Okay.
I got popped on the pills, got addicted to pills. In fact, I was on my way to an AA meeting when I got in my motorcycle wreck, and I got addicted to pills. I didn't drink for 2 years, but I was popping pills all the time, and then that just changed my life, dude. I mean, it fucked everything up, and then I started drinking on them, and then weed, Xanax, cocaine. By the time I went to treatment, John, I was smoking crack.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I was so emotionally fucked. I mean, I couldn't live, and I didn't know how to die. I mean, thank God. I mean, I wanted to swallow a shotgun every day. I had one in my office, and I finally had to take it out. Because
And you're making money all while this is going on. So you have access to whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, well,
which is more dangerous.
It is more dangerous. You know, it's kind of fucked because I had employees, and we're out there working in the shop and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm going in the bathroom and hitting the crack pipe or snorting coke, and it just it hammered me down. And
too much rock and roll.
Man, one of my good friends, he called me and he says, "What are you doing?" And I told him. He says, "Man, it's time for you to go to treatment." And I didn't even stop. I didn't even.
Takes courage.
I didn't even tell him no. I was like, "All right, I'm ready."
You knew.
And I went in, and some of the things that I learned when I first went there were things that I knew but ignored. Kind of like that God conscience in the back of your head that tells you the right and the wrong thing to do. I ignored that fucker all the time. Just knocked it off.
100%.
Like, I got this, you know. But when I went in there and I finally let go and just let him take over and everything, man, dude, my whole life has just changed. It's been a process. I mean, I've really, because for me, when I got out of the drugs and alcohol, I realized that I've got a lot of problems inside my head that now I've got to face alone.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to hide
alone.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, consistent therapy is huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge. Having good sounding boards, good circles, just good habits, good behavior, being around the right people.
Right.
All of that is a toxic drug. You see what I try to create in here. It's
I
like
love it.
you just got to have good people involved and in the mix of what you're doing. It helps that I'm in Vegas,
Right.
Because everybody comes here and everything happens here. But I think there's a lot of good that comes out of consistent therapy.
100%.
100%. Now, you start to find your way out of it. You're like, okay. And there was some trauma there. The accident fucked you up legitimately.
Oh, dude, my shoulder.
Because we've talked about this.
Yeah, it was broken 2 places and dislocated. It was like 6-8 inches down, hanging, and
fucking believable.
You know, and then I found out when I don't know if you remember, I had 2 back surgeries.
Yeah, you
last
told
year.
me. We talked about this.
But from that surgery, I broke my back in the motorcycle wreck too. And when they did the X-rays for my back surgery, they said you broke your something like L3 or whatever. I don't know how L1, L2, L3.
I have a theory. Do you think the drugs creep in and the addiction creeps in because you're like, you feel comfortable using the excuse of like, I'm in pain?
Oh, 100%.
I'm making that up. I'm thinking like that's what some folks do. You know, they're like, I use it to cure the pain.
Oh, well, at first it's for the pain.
Yeah.
And then after, for me, it was for the feeling.
Yeah.
For the
euphoria.
Yeah. I mean, it was Vicodin and Oxycontin. They're heroin. I mean, it's the same feeling. Just I guess I've never done heroin, thank God. But you know, it's just
They say heroin. There's no going back.
No, man.
There's no going back.
You know, I mean, it was so hard getting off the pain pills. You know, because your body goes through all these cramps and pains and everything.
It's exacerbated always with the back.
Yeah.
Everything is.
Yep.
How you lay down, how you move, when you breathe.
But what's crazy is, so Tony he did that show. I can't remember the name. He was doing a series.
Fuck if I know. It was, it was hold on, it'll come to me. It was like the knockout zone thing. It was like something. It was on Warrior Post. I don't know. I forget. Warrior Mindset, something. I'll take over the world. Something like that. Yeah.
So I was trying to get on the show.
Okay.
And I'd been working out, doing all this good stuff. And then he calls me and he's like, him and the producer, they said, hey, you're going to be on the first series of the show. Meanwhile, I'm laying in my office on the ground going, I just fucking blew out my back 2 days ago. And he's like, that sucks. I was like, it does. And so for, I think it was 15 to 18 days, my girlfriend took care of me. It took me like 3 days to finally get the courage up to ask some people, can I get some pain medicine? And so I finally got pain medicine. She took care of everything and went right on schedule, because I'm a drug addict and alcoholic, man. I could lose it any minute.
Yeah, but you got to have some type of pain management.
I did.
You have to have some type. I mean, with a back, it's hard. It's hard.
You blew your Achilles out like right in that time frame too, I think.
Yeah, but I'm a real man. No.
Motherfucker.
No, you know what it is? I ruptured my Achilles, and I was just like, you got to know me to appreciate it. I know you do. I'm more like, all right, like that phase of life is over. Like fuck it. Like, I just checked the box. Like, now I can't work out that hard. Whoops. I'm like, so what? Because I just, I embrace the suck in many ways. If it sucks, let it suck. And it's not necessarily in pain management, but just I'm more to be like, I'm old.
Yeah.
Tony will jump through flaming hoops till he's 70.
Right.
He'll try and do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not trying to be Tom Brady. I only need to win a championship once, not 7 times.
There you go.
Yeah. I only need to win
there
once.
too, though. I mean, and it takes some time to get there to just say fuck it sometimes, and just keep moving.
That's all I do is just, you got to kind of keep going forward. I don't dwell on that stuff. Now, through the pain, I had great people working on me. I had the UFC doctor. I had great folks, Dr. Heatherland, and I don't know where I'd be without her. I mean, if it wasn't for some of them working on me, you have to have the best around you, because, if you're in that type of pain where it's a tear or a surgery or a pull, I don't have to tell you at this stage of the game when that shit happens, you ain't dunking a basketball again. No. It's not coming back. There's no box jumps. There's none of that. So it's tough to go through an addictive cycle like that. And it's very difficult to come out the other end. You got to have strong people around you. And I imagine that you do.
Yes, 100%. Yep, had to. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to have strong folks around you. Now, how do you see going forward with life, everything else? Do you think that something you have, these habits and these things that you've put in, you have to practice consistently every day? Or do you feel like as time goes on, some people feel this, the addiction, like you don't get as addictive anymore, you know what I mean, to certain things? Do you feel like that's kind of suppressing itself, or are you always an addictive personality?
No, you're always, and at least from my experience, you're always an addictive personality. Okay. I mean, because I do stuff every day. I'm still involved with the treatment center that I went. Sure. I'm actually the alumni coordinator that we bring meetings to people that when they get out of treatment. They come to our meetings. I put those on. We go into the treatment center every Friday and speak to the patients. And it is something that I have to do every day. But what advice do you give people right now that might be dealing with addiction? What would you give them? Because you'd have a good perspective on this. I know your personality. Just give in, and because the only way you're going to get sober is if you're willing, you're open-minded, but you got to be honest, and you got to be honest with yourself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be fucking honest with anybody. And so I mean, and that's the biggest challenge that I found with even myself, is of finally getting clean and sober, was just fucking letting go, man, and being like, all right, you know what, dude, I can't do this on my own. Like you said, you got to have a good circle around you, and that's what I've had. That's what I've done with even my sobriety, my sponsor, my sponsees that I deal with. All this big group of people that I can call, and they can call me. I mean, like I had people calling me last night, that they were dealing with some problems, and I helped them through it, and and it's. Were you depressed too, or was? Oh, dude. Yeah. I went through a big depression, man. There was at the very beginning, I think I was 6, 8, 9 months, so maybe a year. Dude, I didn't even want to leave my place. I mean, because you got to understand, I went through a divorce. I'd lost my house. I've lost this. I lost that, and I know fucking violin, right? Yeah. No, you know what it is. You know what it is. And I'm hard about it because life ain't easy. Hell no. It's hard. Everybody goes through these cycles. And when you know that everybody goes through these cycles, you have good people around you. Like, look, you're going to go through this, but we're going to get through it. Right. Okay. You're in a shitty situation.
All right, you got a fucked up kid. You're bad. You know, we'll get through it all.
Right.
Whatever it is as friends.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I agree with you. I agree with the philosophy of you got to give in and own it.
Yeah, you do.
Because if you do, it's a lot easier for everybody to say, all right, let's go. We're going to rehab.
Right.
All right, let's go. We're going to get you past this. You know, what do we got to do? We'll put a cot in the basement. We'll figure it out. It takes time. And the hardest part, like you said, is just give in.
Right. Oh, so, I mean, it was, at the time, it felt humiliating, man, because, you know, I'm walking in the doors of a treatment center, beaten to shit. And I remember walking in there, and I looked at the lady checking me in, and she says, you know, sign here, blah, blah, blah. And I signed everything. And I said, man, I guess this is my walk of shame. And she goes, no, Matt, this is going to be your new walk of life. And I remember I turned and looked at her, and I go, we'll see about that. And dude, it's been 3 years and 10 months, and I couldn't be happier, man. I mean, it's been a long, cool, fun road, and it's only going to get better, bro. I mean, I can just feel it. It's just I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today if I didn't have this. And I want to personally thank you for everything that you've done, my friend, because, dude, don't make me cry, bro.
I will. I will. I have that effect.
Do you?
I do. No, it's huge for me because I'm not a deeply religious person.
Me neither.
And and I could tell. No, I know you're not a big, you know. And for me, I've always been a believer that God puts people into your life for a reason, and you have to be willing to receive them, and they have to be willing to receive you. And when that happens, and I talked about this the other day a little bit, there's a lot of ego especially in men.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of ego and a lot of misplaced ego. And I think ego dictates a lot of their behavior. And sometimes, like when I have a very bad reputation in the gun business for being, you know, a guy who stirs the pot, right? Everybody knows this. You're laughing because you know, as a guy who shakes the tree bushes. I can ask you, it's 100% unfounded. It's 100% unfounded. I want what's best for every situation, and I want what's best for everybody involved, and I want to accomplish what's best for them with their help and with their guidance. But it's super hard to go through what you've gone through and come out the other side and still be smiling. I've been fortunate that I'm kind of like the bumpers on a pool table. I just kind of stay and play at all times. But I think people, but I think people have to understand, if you take ego out of a lot of your decision making, you'd be surprised how much your decision making will change.
100%, dude.
And if you're just willing to let that veil down for 5 minutes and say, because if someone's an asshole and you let your veil, people say, I keep my guard up. You know, I'm going to go on 10 dates before you don't even know who I am. We're going to have 15 dinners before I do a deal or whatever. I'm like, let it all down.
Right.
Receive that person. And if you think that energy is shit energy, then cast that away. Yeah. But just be open. If you're guarded, you're going to get the guarded version of them. People think I'm closed off because I'm short. And I've been short with you. And fuck you. So because all these guys come in there 6'9", and I'm not. So no, but if you're short with people, right. You know, people think I'm short with them for a reason. I'm just an East Coaster, and I believe in people's time. Like, I'll be like, Matt, this sucks. Do something different. I'm not emotional about it after. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about it 5 minutes after. I'm like, just fix it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
We'll get to the other side, no matter what the other side looks like. But I think you have to remove that veil of ego.
Yeah.
I think that's important, and I think that's what gets lost a lot of times with people especially with men. Ego forces them to take a posture. That's why a lot of people end up in that place of, I'm fine.
Yep.
I'm fine. Because they don't want to say I'm not fine.
Right.
You know, so whether you're a veteran, whether you've been through a traumatic accident, which you have, and a lot of these, you know, folks are susceptible to huge addiction risk in so many different ways and shapes and forms, especially obsessive personalities.
Right.
They have to learn, though, just take some of that ego down a notch and be willing to listen and hear. A lot of times the problems that I have with companies or people or anybody else is they're not willing to hear you, and they're not willing to listen. And you're like, oh my God, like, is this country not built on the First Amendment? What the fuck am I doing wrong?
Right.
You know?
Well, that was kind of like when you and I first met, man. I mean, you told me, dude, do this, do that. And I was like, okay at first. And then I was like, no, fuck that.
Fuck him.
Fuck him. You know,
fuck him.
But I had to come around, and I had to just, you know, and you were right. That's the cool part about it.
Well, it's not about right.
No, and that's what, you helped me, and you gave me the right advice. And I tried not doing it, and now I do.
Well, I think in the beginning, people, and rightfully so, people are like, who the fuck is this guy? But you have to kind of understand when someone's giving you their time to talk, and this is the ego. If they're giving my time's valuable, your time's valuable. If you're dispensing information, you're spending 45 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, whatever it is together. Hey, why is this person taking this much of an interest in me? And you should always want to foster that. You can't build Disneyland and then be mad when people show up to buy a ticket. And men are weird. Men are weird, right?
Yeah.
We want the concert. We want to be at Motley Crue.
Right.
We're just weird. We're self-sabotaging in so many ways. We're very self-sabotaging. We're like, oh my God, we built the Field of Dreams. I'm shocked people showed up to play. You know, that's why guys end up with gals they shouldn't. You know what I mean? Like he got game so good. You know, it's like we always want to try to be our best, the best version of ourselves. But if you let the ego down, you can be an even better version. And that's the key. You can be an even better version. Women don't even like that most of the time. Long-term women don't or shouldn't. I would think, right? They shouldn't. They shouldn't. I would think. But I think that's really important. I think that's a critical growth step.
For sure.
Some people learn it at an early age and some people don't.
I'm the slow learner.
We all are in our own way. In some ways.
Yeah.
We all are. Yeah. So we go to the fights tonight. Who do you like?
Oh,
I know you studied the card. What do you like on it?
Nunez. I like Amanda for sure.
That's a bold pick.
I know, right? Isn't that just far away out there? Shocker.
Who else?
I like Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
I think it's
time. You think it's time?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's a good card. Hey, listen.
I got a question. What do you think about Sugar Sean O'Malley's fight? What do you think about that one?
They're giving him fucking cans.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Cupcakes.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that I'm not Sean, I'm a fan. If you want to come on the show, I'd love to have you. Mm-hmm. I just don't think you fought the best of that division yet. And I think your time will come. I think you'll have a chance to prove yourself, but I think he's definitely someone that they see as marketable.
He's excited.
And they see that they can put out there. Right. They're going to give him a chance, you know. The hard thing when they get on a rocket ship to the moon, the hard thing to do, like what Weili Zhang and stuff like that, is like, what do you do with her now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's lost to Rose twice. Now she's essentially a 2 or a 1 in that division. I think she's 2 or 3 now. What do you do with her? You know, she's had, 10 professional fights, 12 professional fights. Where does she go from here? Because it's very hard to circle back and get back to the top.
Right.
So when they build up these stars kind of quickly, I get a little
shaky.
Yeah. A little shaky. Yeah. Now, you always liked fighting, right?
Love it, man.
Like
yes.
It? Is the UFC it, or do you like boxing too?
No, I love UFC. I love boxing too, man. I mean, but I don't know.
Too many divisions, too much bullshit. It's always been the same way.
Yeah.
You don't even know who's who anymore.
Right.
In the old days, I mean, you loved like the middleweight division, certain things, but now it's too hard to follow.
Yeah.
It's become too hard. Exactly. I like what Tyson Fury's doing though.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be
fucking cool.
Yeah.
He's battling. And he's another guy that went through addiction.
Oh, did he really?
Insane. And depression. Major depression.
Dude, depression comes with it.
That's why he was out of boxing.
Really?
For as long as he was. He came back.
I'll be damned.
He was still the lineal champion, and he was home, and he said he was like all fucked up and depressed and want to kill himself, all this crazy shit.
Yep.
Yeah. He wrote about it a lot, quite a bit.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. He'd be like the dream guest for a mental health podcast.
Right.
He would definitely be.
That's awesome.
But he battled a lot of more mental. Yeah. Like you went through a physical damage to get where you were. His was all 100%.
Mine was mental too, mainly.
Mainly?
I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, it because that's where it all starts. It all starts in your mind.
Yeah.
It's
I guess you're right.
It's a manifestation of the mind, right? I mean, because its thoughts become real, and it's one of those things to where, you know, I would continually, even especially when I got sober. I mean, I would just beat myself up constantly, and there were so many times where there was like 4 or 5 days where I wouldn't even leave my place. I tried the antidepressants; those absolutely fucking sucked, man. I can't take anything besides vitamins, man.
Do they make you they make your stomach feel all fucked up, right?
I don't remember. I just remember I just never wanted to leave, man. It sucked.
I never fucked with antidepressants. I did
for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this, man. This is bullshit.
They make you foggy though.
Big time.
Right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
From what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My doctor's like, just give it time. I'm like, fuck that. I'm
if it's not for you, it's not for you. You just gotta learn to live a clean lifestyle and pick up other habits like working out and shit.
Dude, that's been my main thing, man. I mean, and then
You look good.
oh, thanks,
fit,
man.
yeah.
It's a daily challenge too. You know
Yeah,
what I
but you
mean?
got to make it like a struggle. That's
Yeah.
what makes it cool. Like, I got to get up. I got to get to the gym. I got to get in earlier. You got to, yeah. And that's where you get the high, you know, I'm going to get there. And then you get there and you're just like me. You just key the card and you're like, fuck it, I'm out.
Fuck 'em out.
I'm out. Yeah. But no, it's definitely a challenge. But fitness was one of the better addictions you get into. What else?
Yeah.
Food? Food's a good one.
It is a good one. It is a good one. You know, like with anything, you know, you start working out and you eat different and stuff. But then when I stop working out,
You like the treats.
fuck, I'm a sweet tooth junkie, man.
But you know what? That's okay too.
Oh, absolutely.
Better to be like I'm on the cookies.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's a better way. I'm whacked out on brownies.
Oh, every time we do have the fights at my place, I make these sugar cookies, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, dude, these are the best. You making cookies?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
What else? What other addictions? You start like fucking with puzzles or anything? Legos?
No, fucking.
You
Legos.
laugh. I got friends that have been through this. I'm dead. I have a friend. He knows who he is. He probably might listen to this. Literally, he builds like all the Star Wars and everything else, like Lego things, because he has such a crazy personality. Like he's always going, his mind's always racing.
Okay.
That he builds fucking Lego displays.
Really? I guess mine's been work.
Diving
I
in.
just fucking work. I mean, like, yeah, we'll work crazy hours. Take all our dogs to work with us and shit.
How big's the shop?
10,000 square feet.
Oh, you got a good sized shop.
Yeah, it's
you got a
pretty good. It's
sized
pretty
place.
good size. Yeah.
I've never been in it officially.
No, you need to come to Texas.
One day, maybe.
One day.
No, fuck it. I ain't.
Don't come in the summer because it's fucking hot.
Yeah, I've been in Texas enough. See me, I don't like to leave the nest. I build a nest and I'm like, I'm staying. And why go when they come to me? That's what I say.
There you
yeah,
go.
Right?
That's right.
You know, why go when they come to me? I prefer it that way.
You know, I don't travel much either, though.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you should.
I know.
I get that from you, but I think you should a little bit.
We're going to now.
Yeah, why not? I mean, nothing
Absolutely.
crazy, but hit some spots. Get
Yeah.
out a little bit. You earned it.
Dude, this is awesome. I mean, this trip, I mean, like, we got here Wednesday.
Yeah, what did you do?
Nothing. That's the crazy part.
What time were you in bed? Say it.
Fuck, 9:30.
the
Wednesday
best.
and Thursday, dude. It was great.
Pillows everywhere.
I
Sleep.
ordered extra
cool.
pillows.
Extra pillows.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to shower in a hotel. It's good to have someone clean after you for a couple days.
Absolutely.
It's a pampering unlike any other, right? You know, you don't have to do your laundry, nothing. Just
That's
throw it
right.
all around.
Fuck it. Just let it go.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I take clothes, I leave them there.
Hell yeah.
Just leave them there. Socks, everything. It's nice to travel a little bit, especially if you could do it in some degree of style.
Yeah.
Then it works out. It works out really well.
I love it, man. We're staying in a great place, and it's just awesome, man. It's fun.
Where are you staying?
The Win.
Oh yeah, you
Encore.
said that. Mm-hmm. Fuck, that's high end. That's fancy.
It's fucking nice, man. Like you said, we deserve it once in a while, right?
Yeah, you should go. Listen, you got to go to that Italian place downstairs, Allegro.
Is
You
it
gotta
in
get
that? Oh, fuck, that is in there, isn't it?
Listen, you got to get the
All right.
chicken parm.
All right.
They beat the shit out of this chicken parm. Okay, I'm serious now.
Let's go for lunch.
This chicken parm, we can't. You know what I got going
Okay.
on in here. I got 5,000 things going on in here, and you want me to go to lunch. Paper thin, little sauce, cheese. It is heavenly.
Really?
I should work for the Win.
You should. You should.
should.
I think you just promoted
Yeah.
them.
Steve Wynn, if you're listening, hire me. I'll be your food critic. The food here is what keeps you here.
Oh, my God.
You can get everything you can get back home. So when I told friends that I was going to be living in Vegas, the first thing all of them said that knew me, they were like, food's pretty good there. You'll be able to get whatever you want. I'm like, you ain't lying. That Wynn buffet, heavenly.
We have not done that. We've done the Wazuzu. We've had some sushi and stuff, which is pretty. This is good stuff.
It's good there.
Yeah.
You got to go to the Wynn buffet at some point. When do you leave?
Sunday morning.
What
Well,
time?
Sunday noon, I think.
Okay, so why don't you go to the buffet in the
Where
morning?
is it?
Go in the Wynn. Say it.
Oh, we've been at Encore. So is it on the other side?
On the other side, yeah.
Okay. All right,
So they're
we'll
the
go check
same.
it out.
They're
Yeah,
attached.
yeah.
Go in the Wynn. Yeah, go in the Wynn. Go down the long hallway that takes you from Encore to the Wynn. It's the same thing.
They
But
fucking get you lost in these
they
things
get you
now.
lost. There's a reason for that.
Right.
But it's behind a corner. So you come out of where the Encore takes you, go left, and then it's the next left.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Kinda.
But you can get like lobster tails, filet mignon. But for breakfast, you can have like a pizza.
No
you
shit.
can have whatever you want. It's crazy. It's just an experience to have, just to say you did it. You know, go by there at like 8, 9 o'clock and just freaking go to town.
Get it done.
But get the chicken parm at Allegro. Oof, if it's open tonight after the fights, if you go directly there, try to put a reservation in.
All right.
I'm telling you, you'll thank me.
I sounds
Heavenly.
delicious.
Heavenly.
Good.
Yeah. Now, Are you going to come back?
Fucking A.
Oh,
100%.
you heard it here, people. So, it's breaking news.
Yes.
So, what else before we wrap up? Am I missing anything? Did we cover everything? I think we did. You want to talk about? You want to talk about the political environment at all? No. You want to
I'm
talk
not
about COVID?
smart enough to talk about that shit, man.
Did you get the
I'll
COVID
listen to
shot?
you.
Did you get the shot?
No.
No.
No. Did you?
You anti-vax?
No, I don't give a shit.
I got it. I'm
Did
not
you?
against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it on here. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm against the mandate of it.
Yes.
I got it because I went to my doctor, and my doctor was like, "Hey, get it, don't get it. It's cool. I'll not get any boosters."
Okay.
But I was totally cool with getting it. I had no issue with that. But my doctor said, "You're healthy." You know, I'd been in the hospital. He's like, "I don't see a problem with you getting it." So I wasn't anti getting it. Do I regret it? I mean, Dana, well, I'll get back if I regret it. You know, I don't have a regret right now to say, but like, there are people that tell me that, you know, inside of me, my cells are probably exploding and I'm going to die. I don't know. I don't know all that. Yeah. Who knows? My doctor said I'd be fine getting it. So I listened to my doctor just like Dana did and anybody else. You know, Dana got it. But it's not that you're anti-vax. You're just anti the mandate.
Anti the mandate. Yeah. And I've never gotten a flu shot.
And you don't have a reason. Like I was in the hospital. People know that I was in the hospital for a couple days. I had a heart issue I was like dealing with, and I was a little fucked up and congested. Mm-hmm. So it made sense for me to get it. They were like, "You're fine, but go ahead just in case." And I was fine. So, I felt good about it. I mean, I don't know how I hate the mandates. I felt good about getting it at the time. That doesn't mean I'm a supporter. I think it's a decision people make between them and their doctor. I don't necessarily agree with even the vax cards and everything else and all that. I know Raiders Stadium was requiring it. We talked about that last night. No, you're fine. I talked about that last night. Are they requiring? What are they requiring at the T-Mobile? Do you know?
We went and saw Willie Nelson, Chris Stapleton, and we went and got tested before we got, and so we got that and had our paper and everything. We walked in. They didn't even ask.
Okay.
They didn't even say anything. So, I mean, they say either vaccinated or tested within 48 hours of an event, but they didn't even ask us when we went in. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
Texas is pretty open, man. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's cool. I love it. I love Texas.
I like it there, too. Mm-hmm. I like going. I like visiting. You going to stay there forever?
Maybe.
I don't
know. I'm originally from Idaho, so.
Yeah, but fuck Idaho. There's nothing there.
It's beautiful, man. I do miss it sometimes.
So, Boise's on the come up.
Yeah.
Boise is on the come. Bodybuilding.com went there, and they like kind of started blowing it up. Like it became like Boise was the place to go. But I don't know. I've had job offers up in the Dakotas and I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
No.
I wouldn't go there. I'd want to retire where there's some action.
How do you like living in Vegas?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's good. I don't mind it.
How long you been here?
2 years, 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
I like it here. Now, before we wrap, because I got to get to the end here, let everybody know where they can find you, how they can reach you, and how they can get in touch with you.
Instagram, Knuckle Sammys, Facebook, Knuckle Sammys, Twitter. Twitter.
That's fucking amazing. One. Yeah, Twister.
Huh? The great game, huh?
It's amazing.
That is, yeah. Twitter.com. Come help support us, man. We need it.
Where are you going to be next? Anywhere? You guys doing any shows? You were doing shows for a while.
Yeah, and we kind of got out of that. We're listening to
I told
this guy.
you they were fucking. No, some smaller shows aren't bad. You'll move some shit, but it's kind of a place you take, like some of those shows you were doing. I know the ones you were doing and the belt you were doing them. You take product you just want to fire sale and get rid of.
Right.
Shit that's gathering dust and you know.
That'd be a good idea to do that, but I mean it's like, I don't know.
You want to move 100 at a time, 200 at a time. You don't want to do rinky dink. Once every so often to get your name out there. Hey, they're a great gift. Here's a little something, and do it almost like a marketing promo price. Like we're just going to push these out there into the universe and leave with nothing.
Yeah, and we've got them in some retail stores in Texas too. We've got them at Texas Gun Experience and another location they've got, and we're trying to get them out to a bunch more. And it's a process, and like you say, you don't want to. Sometimes, like listening to you and stuff, it's like don't rush it. Just kind of.
Sometimes good things take time.
Exactly.
It just takes time. Stay the course.
That's right. Stay the course.
I had a business owner in the back here when you came in, and he said the same thing. He's got plenty of money. Yeah, he was like, sometimes good things take time. You have to just take your time. He's made more money by accident than I'll make on purpose. Now, I appreciate you coming in. It means a lot.
Dude, no, it means a lot for me, man. Thank you.
You like it in here?
Dude, it's so badass, man. When I hear people say that this is a cool studio, it's so cool being able to be in here and see it in person.
that.
So thank you for having me, John. Thanks for everything, man.
Thanks for coming out, and thanks for bearing with my schedule. I know it's a son of a bitch. People don't think I'm busy. I get these texts, right? They're like hate texts. Really? They're like, "Where are you? What's going?" And like you see, like this is all day.
Yeah,
it's all day. Sure. Unbelievable.
No, you're gonna make time. We're gonna go to the fights tonight, still, right?
We're making time. Right. We're gonna make time. Right. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. There's going to be all the links down below. Go check out all of Knuckle Sammys. Go check out Matt's stuff. Hit him up if you have a custom project, something you're working on. Go check out all of his stuff. Please like and subscribe, guys. Big shout out to Sig Hour. Big shout out to Volquartsen. Big shout out to Pulsar, Right On, Enforce, all the brands that support the show. Galco Leather Holsters, Kenzie's Optics. Go buy everything at Kenzie's if you can. Appreciate you guys. We're out.
Thank you.